that. And if you have any questions at the end, please write it down. And at the end, you can feel free to ask me. So right now, I will share my screen. Have a PowerPoint. Let's see. All right, hold on. Okay. So can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the first slide is talking about fire safety, fire prevention, and what exactly is fire safety? Okay, sorry, my computer is a little slow, so it'll take some time to go to the next screen. But what is fire safety? So fire safety is the set of practices intended to reduce the risk of fire and protect people from its danger. So simply put, fire safety is knowing what to do, having the prior knowledge, the knowledge to prevent is in the word prevention, right? So having the knowledge to prevent a fire, and then fire safety actions, using whatever knowledge you've learned to prevent the fire, whatever knowledge you've learned and what to do during a fire, right? A lot of times we see a lot of fire. We see fires in the news. I don't know if anybody has experienced their home being on fire, which is a very unfortunate event, but it's not something that is easy. It's not something that is easy. It's a scary feeling, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But in the event that it does happen, you want to be prepared, right? You don't want it to come and then you don't know what to do at all. You're not prepared at all. So today we're going to focus on some things that can prepare you in the event of a fire, and also to prevent you or your family from being in a fire at your home. So, what are the common causes of fire? So, unattended cooking, right? When you're cooking, and then say the living room is in the other room, you leave you're cooking the pot, jollof rice, whatever you may be cooking, you leave it and you go to the living room or your bedroom, and you sometimes people may fall asleep and forget that they're cooking. Candles or open flames. So a lot of time people like to light candles, especially during now it's getting colder in New York. So people like to light candles for the smell, to stay warm. So that is a very common cause. Faulty electrical wiring. Sometimes people like to go the cheap route and they don't hire a licensed electrician. So they may do it themselves, right? They may have some experience doing electrical work and they may do it themselves. And that can cause a fire in an event, especially if the person is not licensed. They don't know exactly what they're doing. Faulty equipment. Once again, it's getting colder, so people are going to bring out space heaters, right? And the space heater, nothing's wrong with a space heater, but it may be faulty, right? The wires may be messed up, may be frayed. You may have the space heater there for a long time. It may be the space heater may be in a overloaded socket, right? And we'll talk more about that overloaded power strip, and that can cause fire because it can overheat. And same thing, overloaded sockets, right? You know, sometimes we have the power strip and we plug just a bunch of different things in it. So if you're plugging if you're plugging powerful appliances all in one socket and it's overloaded, it can spark a fire. And kids, right? Kids, as much as great as they are very curious. So they don't know the danger of playing with a lighter. They don't know the danger of turning on the stove, and they just think it's cool, right? So some kids, they like to play with fire and they don't know the exact danger that it can cause death, right? It can cause harm. So these are only some of the causes of fire. Of course, there are so many other causes of fire, but these are some of the common causes that we see all the time. So I'm going to start with some of the fire prevention tips. The first one that is very, very important is installing a smoke slash carbon monoxide alarms in your home on every level. If you live in a multi level home, every level, so first, second, third. If you only live in maybe an apartment, just in the hallway, in the kitchen. It is very important to have a working smoke alarm, working carbon monoxide alarm, because say in the event you're sleeping, you may not even be cooking, you may not have a candle on, but something in the electrical goes wrong. Something in the electrical goes wrong, and it sparks a fire. Now, when it starts smoking, that smoke is going to alert the smoke alarm, and then you're going to hear a beep, beep, beep. It's going to be constant until that smoke goes away. Now, say you didn't have a smoke alarm, you wouldn't hear that beeping sound to alert you. And before you know it, it will be fire, and it will block you from leaving the home. So that's why it's important to have a smoke, because you just never know, right? It's very important. It's something that will alert you out your sleep. And nowadays they sell smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms together. It's usually one alarm altogether. Carbon monoxide is a dangerous gas, deadly gas, and it's a gas that you cannot smell. You won't be able to smell it. It's not like the sulfur gas, the gas that you use on your stove, when you can smell that the gas is on. Carbon monoxide is odorless. So what they do now is they install the smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, and you can find these alarms anywhere. You could buy it at Target. I know everybody lives in different areas throughout the United States and Canada, but you can find it at Target, Walmart, pharmacy, Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere. They sell it everywhere. And even if, say, you don't own a home and you are renting, and say, I know laws are different in every state. As opposed to, if the landlord is supposed to require a smoke alarm, but say the landlord doesn't provide you a smoke alarm, then do your due diligence, right? You should go ahead and buy your own smoke alarm. It's something very simple. You just purchase it, and then you just put it up on the wall. And if you need help, you can ask. The younger kids. They will be able to help you. And yeah, so don't rely on your landlord to get it for you. Do it yourself. If they're able to do it, then allow them to do it. But then you should also do it yourself. Along with that, you want to test the smoke alarms monthly and replace the batteries once a year. So these smoke alarms is battery operated, right? Usually it's I believe it's usually AA batteries, right? You'll know, you want to test it on the smoke alarm. It just has a button, and you just test it. You just press it, right? But all the instructions will be on the package. You just read the package, and they tell you how to test it. But these batteries, they die, right? So you have to remember that. And then even if they die, it will alert you that it's dead. It will beep like every smoke alarm is different, but it'll beep every 2 minutes, every minute or so, and it's alerting you that it's low batteries. All right, it will let you know that it's low batteries, and then that it's time for you to change. Once you hear that beep, that means that it's time for you to change the batteries. Keep a fire extinguisher in key places. So you want to keep a fire extinguisher in your kitchen. If you have a garage, a place where you have a grill, you want to keep a fire extinguisher there. The fire extinguisher that you should purchase is called an ABC multi-purpose fire extinguisher. So that fire extinguisher, that's the fire extinguisher that most people use at home. It's multi-purpose, so it covers all types of fire, maybe a grease fire, a regular fire. It'll cover all types. So it's called ABC multi-purpose fire extinguisher. And something people don't think about is you want to plan and practice a fire escape plan with your family, right? So you just want to plan, especially if you have small kids or you have a big family, everybody's living at home. Like I was saying, you don't want to wait until there's a fire to now plan. It's too late, right? So there's a saying that if you fail to plan, if you fail to plan, it's already too late, right? So you want to plan in advance, right? So simple thing of just finding out where the exits are, in your building, right? A lot of times people may live in buildings and they don't even know that there's two exits. This staircase goes here, this staircase goes here, right? And we'll talk more about the fire escape plan later on. And on the last thing, which is very important, don't block doors or windows that can be used as an exit. All right. A lot of times we have a lot of junk in the house. We store a lot of things that we don't need. It's I understand people don't want to let go of things and they like cherishing things that they've had, but it's a danger hazard. All right. In the event that there is a fire, you're blocking doors and windows that you can use to exit quickly. Right now, you have to, even if you have the time, you won't even have the time. The way fires happen is so quick. Like, you won't even have the time to remove things from the door. That's why you think of when you hear people like they jump out the window of a fire, because the fires happen so quickly that you don't even have time to think. It's just like a natural reaction. Like the heat of the fire is really going to push you out. So you want to remove all things that block the doors, that block the stairways, that will prohibit you, that will stop you from exiting quickly. All right. So we're going to move on. So kitchen safety tips. We're going to go over the different types of areas where fires normally happen, and we're going to go over those tips. So the first one is going to be in the kitchen. What are some safety tips in the kitchen? Like we discussed, not leaving food cooking unattended. If you're cooking, stay in the kitchen. Don't leave it unattended. Keep flammable items away from the stove, such as towels, plastic bottles, plastic utensils, plastic plates, all these things that may cause a fire. If the item was to touch the fire and it'll be flammable, keep it away from the stove. Another thing people don't think about is usually you have the pot handle, you want to turn it inward, right? Because if it's sticking out towards you, what will happen, right? You'll walk and then you'll hit the pot with your hand, right? So always turn the pot handles inward to prevent any accidents, right? A lot of times that happen. You might be cooking with oil right now. You have a burn because now the pot spilled over or boiling water. So just simply remember, you just turn it inward. So now there's no way for you to bump it. The next thing is you want to clean the grease and food buildup regularly on your stove and your oven. All right. Those things can ignite a fire very quickly because now it has the grease, it has the buildup, and those things are all flammable, and then it can build up a fire quickly. The next one we're talking about is electrical safety tips. So when it comes to electrical safety tips, we're talking about overloading electrical outlets, right? So when you have a power strip, you don't want to overload it. The outlets, you don't want to overload it, okay? If you're not using a certain appliance, just unplug it. You want to replace damaged or frayed cords. A lot of times, even right now, I think my wire is a little frayed. Like right now, this wire, I need to get a new cord. When I say it's frayed, like look at it. See, you can see the wiring is messed up, right? This is no good, right? That's what frayed means. Like the wire, the electrical strip, the electrical insulation that protects the wire it's no longer. You can see through and see the electrical wire. So when that happens, you want to just throw it away. It's not worth it. Just pay for a new cord. Keep space heaters away from flammable items. So space heaters, you want to keep it away from anything. Just have the space heater standing alone, and most space heaters have like a timer limit. Put it on a timer limit so that it's not going to be on all night, just in case, just to be safe. And like I was discussing, you want to hire a licensed electrician for any type of electrical work. All right, make sure they're licensed and that they know what they're doing. All right, because you don't want to go the cheap route and it costs you. It will cost you more. The next one is going to be candles and open flame. So candles, you want to make sure you're keeping candles away from anything that can burn, right? So a lot of times I like to burn candles. I'll just keep it on my dining room table. Nothing else is there. And you don't want to leave it unattended. So Unattended meaning if you're going to sleep, if you're leaving the house, you don't want to leave it unattended. You want to make sure if you're going to sleep, you blow the candle out. If you are going outside, you blow the candle out. Never, never leave it unattended. And never leave kids around candles as well. Because once again, kids like to be curious. Trimming the wick, right? So the wick is that the long string in the middle of the candle that you light. You just want to trim it, right? You want to trim it. You don't want it to be too long because that it causes excessive dripping, which can lead to fire hazards. It causes excessive dripping leads to fire hazards. And just as something simple, you just take the scissors and you just trim it. All right. You'll see a lot of times, I even have a candle right now. You'll see a lot of times when you start to burn it, when you burn it, the wax keeps going lower and lower and lower and lower, and the trim keeps getting the trim will get exposed and exposed. You want that trim to be at the same level as the wax to prevent any fire hazards. And keeping lighters and matches out of the reach of kids. All right, kids, like I said, kids are curious. You're gonna tell them 1,000 times, don't touch this, don't touch this, and what are they going to do? They're going to touch it because curiosity killed the cat, right? They want to see what it's about, right? So you want to put every matches above high, very high, so that they can't climb up. Maybe in a drawer, you lock it, and even the stove knobs, right? As kids grow, the stove knobs is not high. They can just easily go and they can turn it. So even they sell it online, Amazon, Target, wherever. You can get like stove knob covers. You just put it on, and then it's child proof, so kids can't. You really have to use pressure to open it, so kids can't open it. So investing in something like that can really save you. And also outlet covers, right? Outlet covers for kids as well, so they don't plug in. They're not plugging things inside the socket. Smoke alarms. We spoke about this, but I'll go over again. Smoke alarms save lives. Make sure you get smoke alarms each level of your home. Test it monthly. Change batteries yearly or when it starts to beep. So we spoke about the fire extinguisher and what the where you want to keep it in every area, like the key areas of your home. Like you want to keep it in the key areas of your home: the kitchen, the garage. If you have a grill nearby the grill. All right, so I'm going to show you a short video on how to use a fire extinguisher. It's very simple, and this is the method that they use, right? And you'll see in the video. It's called PASS. P stands for pull. You're going to pull the pin. A stands for aim. You're going to aim at the base of the fire. S stands for squeeze. You're going to squeeze the nozzle. And then the other S stands for sweep. You're going to just sweep back and forth. All right. One thing I would say when it comes to using a fire extinguisher, if you feel like the fire is not manageable, right? We will. I'm sure you would see if you can manage this fire with the fire extinguisher, as opposed to you can't, right? So it's a difference between, all right, the pot is on fire, just on the stove. The pot is contained, it's on fire, as opposed to a whole room. Obviously, you can't use a fire extinguisher for the whole room, so that means you need to evacuate. You should leave. But if it's something that's manageable, like say your food is on fire really quick, then use the fire extinguisher. But if you're not able to, if it's not a containable fire, please do not use the fire extinguisher and just exit and call 911. So I'm going to show this short video on how to use a fire extinguisher.
In this video, we'll teach you how to properly use a fire extinguisher using the PASS method. When fire strikes at your workplace, be sure to follow these 3 steps. Step 1. Check to make sure the fire extinguisher you have on hand is the correct type of extinguisher to extinguish the type of fire. Type A is used for ordinary combustibles such as wood and paper. Type B extinguishers are used on flammable liquids like gasoline and oil. Type C is for electrical fires, so they can be used on faulty outlets and appliances. Type D is used on flammable metals such as magnesium and titanium. And Class K extinguishers are used when fires involve cooking media, fats, grease, and oils. All commercial cooking sites, such as restaurants, need this extinguisher. If you don't feel you can safely put out the fire, exit the building immediately. Step 2. With the extinguisher in hand, step 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Step 3. Use the pass method to put out the fire. P. Pull the pin so that you're able to discharge the extinguisher. A. Aim the extinguisher nozzle at the base of the fire. S. Squeeze the lever to discharge the extinguishing agent. Releasing the lever will stop the discharge. S. Sweep. Pointing the extinguisher at the base of the fire, move the extinguisher from left to right or back and forth in a sweeping motion until the fire is out. When the fire is out, continue to watch the fire to ensure the fire does not ignite once again. If the fire comes back, repeat the pass method. Recap. P. Pull the pin. A. Aim. S. Squeeze. And S. Sweep. Remember, fires can be harmful and fatal, so do not put the fire out yourself unless it's safe to do so. At CQ Fire and Safety, we are a one-stop shop for your fire and safety needs.
Okay. So all right. So that's how to use the fire extinguisher, right? So just remember, pull, pass, PASS, pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. So really quick, I spoke about creating a fire escape plan. So with the fire escape plan, you want to map out all exits in your home or building. So you want to know where all the staircases are at, where all the exits are at. You want to map it out. You want to plan ways to get out of each room. So usually most rooms have a window and a door. Some rooms may not have a window. That's fine. But just know how to get out of each room. Practice your escape plan regularly, especially if you have if you have kids, if you have a family, you're not living by yourself. Practice this escape with them regularly, and pick a meeting spot outside. So in the event that there is a fire, pick a spot that when you all exit the building that you will meet at. All right, because when there is a fire, it's very chaotic. Everybody's looking for their family. They're looking to see where they're at. So if you already have a pre-designated spot of where you will meet with your family, everybody knows that we're meeting across the street to the left. If there's a fire, just exit and go there. Everybody knows to meet at that spot. All right. So what to do during a fire, right? So now there's a fire in your home, building, wherever, right? Workplace, wherever. What do you do during a fire? First thing you want to do, you want to stay calm and don't panic, right? Stay calm and don't panic. Also, you want to stay low. The reason why you want to stay low, when it's heat rises, that's just what science, that's what's happening with science, right? Heat rises. So say even if you live in an apartment building, you see sometimes the basement is always the coolest part and during the summertime, and then upstairs is always hot. That's the same thing in the fire. In the fire, the closer you are to the ground, the more oxygen, the more cooler it are, the more cooler it is. The higher up you is, the more heat you'll have, the more heat there will be. So when you're exiting, stay low. Like literally, you want to crawl on the ground, stay low. Use the safest and most accessible exit, right? Use the safest, the closest exit. And when you're leaving, close all doors as you leave, right? Because you want to contain that fire. If you leave the door open, now the fire has free access to now go to another room, to the hallway. So as you're leaving, please close the door so now that fire can just stay in that room. Okay. A lot of times people run out of a fire, they leave the door open, and now that fire is just gonna roar. It's just giving it easy access to go destroy another area. If you live in an apartment building or like a building that has with shared people, as you're running out, just alert others, fire, bang on their doors, fire, fire, fire. So it'll let people know to get out there, as well. Also, if you live in a building, don't use the elevator. Even if it's 20 floors up, do not use the elevator if there is a fire, because you're gonna get stuck in it, and that's not gonna be a good thing. And smoke will start to come inside the elevator. So just use the staircase. And then once you exit the building and you're safe, call 911. All right, call 911, tell them the address, and they should be there. Also, to go back, I'm sorry. So another thing that people don't think about is knowing the type of building you live in. All right. I'm from New York. I'm a New York City firefighter. So the type of building that you live in is very important when it comes to fires. It's not as important if you don't know, it's fine. Just exit the building. But say if you live in a private home, if you live in a private home, no matter where the fire is at, just get out. All right. But if you live in, let's say, if you live in a high-rise apartment building in federal housing, city housing, and your building is fireproof. If the fire is not in your apartment and your building is fireproof, a high-rise apartment doesn't have fire escapes, you have sprinklers. If the fire is not in your apartment, it's not in your apartment. Just stay in your apartment, close the door, put wet towels underneath the door, and stay in your apartment. This is if your building is fireproof and you live in a high-rise building. If the fire is in the apartment, whether you live in a fireproof building, house, or wherever, if it is in your apartment, exit right away, right? Exit right away. But if it is not in your apartment and you live in a fireproof building, you can stay in your apartment, just put towels underneath the door and just stay put. Because you know why? Fireproof means that like the fire is going to be contained in whomever's apartment it is. It will be contained. And by the time the firefighters come and put the fire out, you should be fine. But now you exit and say the fire is down the hall and you exit and the person didn't close their door. Now you have left your apartment to go out into the hallway, into the smoke, into the fire, when you could have just stayed safe in your apartment because you live in a fireproof building. That's a lot of people don't know that. All right, so it's fireproof building. But if you live in a house, a brownstone, anything that's non-fireproof, then you want to exit. You want to exit regardless if it's in your room or not. You just want to exit because those things are non-fireproof and the fire will start to deteriorate really quickly. So you want to exit. So that's one thing I want everybody to know. New York City, we have a lot of high rises, federal buildings, and fireproof buildings. So if you live in New York City, this goes to you, and anywhere else, it doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna wrap up and just really summarize everything. It's important to know about fire prevention. It's really simple. This is not a big thing. The biggest takeaways I want you to take from this is the smoke alarms, smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, right? You can buy it anywhere, Amazon. I bought mine from Amazon. So smoke and fire alarm, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, fire extinguishers, how creating a fire escape plan, and what to do during a fire. All right, those are just the main thing. And so it's important, take fire safety very seriously. It's simple. Also teach your kids, grandkids, these simple things as well. Just as you teach them to call 911 in an emergency, you want to teach them these tips that you've learned today as well to them as well. So they're never too young to learn. And also teach your other family members, also other church members. Let them know. Like I know a lot of people don't know about the smoke alarms. Let them know. Like, hey, do you speak to them? Do you have a smoke alarm in your house? Oh, you should go and get one. It's important. And whatever you've learned, pass this information on to the next person. All right. So thank you for having me at this time. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Jennifer. You did so well. Yeah, that's a some for say also questions. So be a questioner. A baby a kwan the messenger say obebo baby a wutie ye free. Na fe odo question no atwa so. Before one thing let me say this. The okay ye me de pa. mekwana emma madwe mo ba me take home wo say pick a spot no is but ya na ni madwe mo kra say I will teach me ma no say bia ye nyina ye kohyia ha no ba wakan me de beka me de ho ama ya kire say ebia bibi say sia ye nyina ye kohyia ha nti thank you so very much pacho akonya ne da ho no mo so pese obisa question bia you are more than welcome ba ma ye hu ba bia wo kase free me da say. Hey, that's all be at here pa. Ubetimi say the contribution so aka ho. So mom bisa question na. One question I'm sure to ho. Even though you have say buildings no what they were high ha, but fireproof building no obere na woko rente e be apartment any adia obehu say a down we say and as a building where a fireproof or much raw na.
Yeah, so the landlord will know that it's fireproof. So usually it'll be federal buildings because it's federal. They want the buildings to be secure. So federal buildings or public housing buildings are the ones like that. But private homes are not fireproof. They're not fireproof. But they'll let you know. They'll let you know, oh, this is a fireproof building.
Oh, okay.
But there's no private homes that's fireproof.
Okay.
Because they don't build homes with concrete here. They use the 2x4s, all the sheetrock and stuff. So those goes up quick.
Okay. Thank you. Pamcho, be a bit me aka so
But maybe a question.
go ahead.
Mama Muntamti, Abia question, I don't know, say Abia or can be found. I just joined, and
No
when
problem.
immediately I joined, she was already wrapping up. But my question is, say, and then a bebama say, if there is fire outbreak in the house, one say sometimes not doors and windows are locked in a way. You will try, meaning say out of fear, and any me or what goes on or what happens in the money basa. Now don't say you will try to open the door and it will never open. Now be na a jana beto na say she na obe she say whatever na happen.
So that was the first thing I said, and what to do during a fire. So the first thing is you want to stay calm and don't panic, all right? Because if there was no fire any other day, you would have been able to open the door and then leave, right? So it's just that you're in fear, right? So it's fight or flight. You're in fear, so you want to stay calm and don't panic. The door is open because you always leave. But if you do have a door in your house that gives you trouble when on an everyday locking, opening it, like sometimes the door handles is loose and you have to do this, you want to get that fixed right away so that in the event that there is a fire, there's no trouble in exiting. And then I also did mention that you want to make sure the doors and the windows, you're not blocking it with stuff, right? You want to make sure it's free of storage and clothes and all that. You want to make sure that you're able to access it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Bachesta, ya now kasa free.
Me pacho me sorry. Pacho me casa free Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bacho, ekwane da ho, obia betimi abisa question. Which means Sister Jennifer, you did so well. Obia tias here.
I hope so.
Aye, omatia se pa. Enti na obia mbisa se.
Hello, Auntie Judith.
Hello, ma intimi.
Pacho, my intimi. Me Pacho be kasa from Ohio, Cincinnati. Me Pacho, Auntie Jennifer, me bisa se ebia be the address so na e catch fire. Na me sense you go my dear na beba.
It depends on what your what you're cooking. So if it's a pot of oil, if it's, say you put a pot of oil to heat and it catches fire, if you put water on it, it's going to blow up more. So you never want to do that with oil. Oil and water don't mix. So if you put so that's why it's good to have the fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher will neutralize that. But if it's you boiling water or say a towel catches on fire and you put water on it, that's fine. But because it's oil and water, if you put water on that, it's just going to blow up even more. Especially the amount of water that you're using is not enough to like kill that oil fire. So something like that. If you don't have a fire extinguisher, I would call 911 right away. Call 911 right away. And or if it's an oil fire and it's not something that's like very like it's not a lot, then you can just put a lid on top of it. You want to smother it. But if you feel like you can't do it, just call 911. Don't risk your life trying to do it. They have people that will do it. Okay, but oil and water don't mix. So never with oil fire. But if it's like something flammable, that towel, a paper by the stove that catches it, you can throw water on it right away.
Okay, that's it. The next Jennifer, Mammy far away in film. We say you different kind of fire extinguisher now can A, B, C, A. So does that mean say you put yento A, B, A, B?
So the fire extinguisher, and it'll say ABC multi-purpose fire extinguisher. So that's the one that you'll purchase. Okay. So that will cover the grease fire, the oil. It will cover everything. Okay. So it's called ABC multi-purpose.
Okay.
Yo, mpacha me also.
Pacha, okasa free him.
Yo, Mrs. Trumney, Mikasafi, Connecticut.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Sister Jennifer, thank you so much. Your friend said, Naseka Cream, who said, you advertise some form of blanket to say material be a ultimate to a januswa ne dumno. Is this something that is okay to use?
So that's what they call a fire blanket, and even I don't know exactly what it's made from, what they're advertising, but I know we use that as well. We use that as well in the fire department for different, not all the time, but for different instances. But yeah, that's okay to use as well. But I would recommend the fire extinguisher first. But that's okay. That's okay to use as well.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Pacha, before what will be? Okay.
Mpacho, me saw question be I am experience. Mpacho, yeah, Nimikasa Free Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Now there was a time, some time ago, na made a soup, a pot of soup, a stove so na. I said, minya emergency be me pie koe, me refri se me dum jam. Me be na me soup ni nyina ahye ma bibia ahye, but na pot ni si so a and catch fire. And nka be hye efie ni nyina. I don't know. Is it because my cover so me cover so that me feel say me dum jano na me koe. But me be na jano that so there pot na say everything had turned to like charcoal. But it didn't catch fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, until me person me bisa say dey until the man yes sir.
So if it would have stayed on longer, because it probably didn't reach the I should say like the heating point for it to catch fire. If it would, and also because it had soup in it already, so the soup has to evaporate. That's another process. Then the soup has to evaporate. Then it has to go to the heating. There's a heating level for it. So if it would have stayed on even longer, it would have definitely caught fire, because now the metal will now disintegrate. Right now the metal's disintegrating, and something's next to it, it will catch fire as well. So just even the smoke of it too. Like these things that are made from, we don't know what the chemicals that's being made from, right? So now if it was the pot was to burn, because the pot would have burnt, now the smoke from it, right, can cause the fire as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Pacho, any question or contribution? So the
Obiamba, I remember Yana Kofo say if there's fire, do not open the doors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe is it that when we are running away, we just bang the door?
Do not open you're talking about like say in the building.
Yeah.
Okay, in the building, yeah. So if you're in like a fireproof building, which is like usually the fireproof buildings are high-rise buildings, so like 20-floor buildings, 13-floor buildings. Those buildings are generally fireproof because I'm sure in the United States most of it is like that, but in New York City, when those high-rise buildings, when you have high-rise buildings, it has to be fireproof or it has to be sprinklered. So with those things, you don't, even though somebody may bang on your door and they say fire, you do want to you do want to stay in your apartment. But if you live in a non-fireproof building and they're saying that there's fire, you want to try to, if you're able to, you want to try and get out because it's not fireproof, right? So you want to try and get out. But if it is a fireproof building, usually generally high-rise buildings, those are fireproof and you are safe to stay. You are safe to stay in place, and just put a wet towel underneath the door and just wait for call 911 as well.
So when you get out, let's say it's not fireproof. When you get out, you will have to bang the door.
Yeah,
Because
just to alert, if you can, just to alert others, not your just to get others out. Yeah, just to alert others, like
but the air coming in doesn't make any difference on how the fire will catch up and burn the place or something.
If the fire is in your place,
yeah. Just so you house and then there's fire and then you open the door. Why you open the door? Is the air coming in causing more fire or something?
Yeah, oxygen, because fire needs oxygen for it to be fueled. So if the fire is in your place, then you wanna obviously you wanna exit your place, but you also wanna close the door because you don't want that fire to travel and you don't want it to be fueled with the oxygen, because oxygen, when you open the door, fire is gonna go from a area from high pressure to low pressure. So fire is gonna automatically gravitate to exit to wherever that low pressure is. That's the opening that's been opened. So that's why they say always, if you're exiting a fire, I know a lot of things is happening will be happening in your head, but just try to remember to close the door.
I hope so. Mama Chin, what's it all can I say?
Yeah.
Okay. But your beautiful flow will be an
Yeah. Sampacho me will be coming beside you be minim so I can't want some of the
but your cassa free hen your friend say.
but a very messy in Casafe, California Bay Area.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Pacho, let me be say it is all can be say waterproof house. Madam was a few to my apartment and Yami fee. Yes, can't be. Madam was a few a fireproof house. Na after so no, a jano, my fancy may chair dinner, a jar talk a unimua. My who says so the idea catasua. Na I don't know the catasua, my no send a messiah view. Was some pen now one answer thing. Na after so be a fire extinguisher. Me casana yawa, but me very mechanic in our bone. Fire extinguisher bodano. Maybe a nipano, I hope you print, when to me, yes, and I was a not a bar. One I was with Triaka, I was a Tria apartment in Eka. And now say, was a friend saying, I idea was a woho, wouldn't be a tria, Madame Silver. You say, Mother Holia.
Yeah. So the first question, California. So I don't know the type of buildings that's in California. So, but you can ask the landlord, is this a fire? And it's fireproof. You ask the landlord if it is a fireproof building. They should be able to. They'll be able to know. It's just a simple. Fireproof just means the type of construction that they use, the type of material that they use to build a building. So that's that. Usually, fireproof buildings are built with concrete. In America, a lot of times when they build the houses, in some buildings they'll use sheetrock. They won't use concrete. But when they build certain buildings, they'll use concrete. So that's what fireproof is. But you can ask the landlord. Um, and the second thing is, I think you said the lid. If you put the lid, if at any time you feel like you can't, even if you have a fire extinguisher, if you feel like you cannot handle it, you don't know what to do, you're too scared, just leave it. Call 911. Just leave, call 911. No no firefighter, no fire department is going to get upset that you called them. No one will ever get upset. So don't be afraid to call 911. Even if the fire extinguisher is there and you're not able to use it, just call 911. Leave it and call 911. That's why we're here to come in and do the problem and fix the solution. Um, and with the damage to the building, I don't know. I'm not too sure how that would go. But that would definitely be something with landlord. I know lawyers will probably have to get involved and stuff. But the most important thing is your safety. Forget about the damage. Forget about the cost. You could buy a new home. You could buy all that, but you can't. You can't pay for your life, right? So just want to get out and be safe.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sister Mpacho, Mrs. Chimbio, do we pay when we call
911? No.
yeah, for fire?
No. That's what I'm saying. You don't pay. You don't pay. They don't. That's not. It's not like ambulance. You take an ambulance ride, you have to pay.
Mhm.
You don't pay nothing at all. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Even if you smell gas in your house, we get gas odor of gas all the time. Somebody smells gas in their house, they'll call 911. If they have a water leak in their house, they call 911. Like people call 911 for everything. So they don't pay nothing. We show up, we see what's happening, and then it's better to be safe than sorry. So don't worry
Yeah.
about the cost. You don't pay for anything.
Yeah, but I was seeing and so Mama Maya abuse no.
Yes.
Yes, don't
Yeah.
let us abuse it. See in Chiahuinti na the enya you cry ebi amomoni bi a woto 20 na ade no ewo honum na obetimi aye bibi afa ne ho dan say emusie ne ba ade ne bo meanwhile you are aware say we ntia na ebi aye frɛ omo unnecessarily. See I am share so
When Cynthia me and say who say mruwe ya ebo we. And I'm say, yeah, next sika wo hunti. And sometimes no one person be from okay, so from one person be from tina bibisa no. We
Yeah.
have had it before. Say idea is sika bebre. It will also not let people call. But once you free in them, say it's okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't call if you don't have to, because unfortunately it's not their stuff. So they're going to do what they have to do, right? They're not going to really care too much. But yeah, just call if in the case of emergencies, obviously.
Pacho bi na ne de ase yen sister Jennifer ya de nti obi atias.
Judith,
Mama,
but I'm to be maybe more from Cincinnati.
okay.
But I'm not me person, maybe, sir, get to say, fire extinguisher. No, young fans are be a me operate. Said that the pump no tear no. Ne be a pardon no good mania. Can it harm me?
No, you could just do a eye wash. Just put a lot of just put copious, like a lot of water in your eye.
Okay. 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 That's
Jennifer, mami, the intina mama yeka say you aim at adieno. On say wo aim you at adiena. On say ayina nkasa newa. Nti wo aim at adena eko say ba out of abia ye at that time you doing ye yakosro ye say ne ehu nti ne bia mistakenly at me hu kwase bia bibi sa gu bi ani. But the code ne wa enough say if you aim at adene ya you just sweep it. No bɛyɛ ɛkɛ but asɛ wɔte sɛ deɛ woka no ɛyi wɔ hɔ ebia bi ntumi asɛɛse
mepatɔ deɛ meka no na nipa no na biribi ansi akɔta aba no ɔyɛ sɛ ɔtrae sɛ in case sɛ ɛbaa sɛdeɛ ɔbɛyɛ no na sɛ ɔprɛse no ayɛ te sɛ tuo ɛsɛ sɛ ano no bɛhwɛ sei no na ani na bɛhwɛ n'anim na gu it was so na gu te sɛ powder bebree wɔ n'ani saa na ɛkɔyɛɛ meda ase na nyame adom wɔda so te ase a yɛte bɔne bia nti na mehwesa sɛ bia ɛbɛtumi akɔ so ham bia
but people throw bibi ana
Yeah, me pacho. Me di Nana Joa me wɔ Virginia.
okay welcome mama
Na mo hyɛ no na me ni hɔ na me wɔ yɛsɔrɔ program. Na ɛda bi na me echi fish. Ɛna nwa no etu gu gyam. Na etu gu mu no na me yɛ no bibia enye madum stove no. But na me yɛ no bibia enye yie. Na me sɛ Awurade hu me mmɔbɔ. Me hye obi fie. Enti ɛhɔ na me yi stove no nneɛma no nyinaa firi mu. Ɛna me de wet towel na me de egu so ɛna edumuyɛ. Na ɛyɛ ana sɛ ebetumi akɔ so a problem anaasɛ ɛyɛ.
So depending on if it's a small fire, depending on it, you can smother. So there's different ways to close a fire. Is to cool it, right? You cool it with water, suppress it, or smother it. So what you did, you smothered the fire with a towel, right? So it was a small enough fire that when you smothered it, it's now you're stopping the fire from receiving the oxygen to keep fueling it. So now it's just smothered. So that's what happened. But say if it was a bigger fire, the fire would have just engulfed it. The fire would have just pretty much like ate it up, right? But because it was a small fire, that it was able to handle it. So that is fine. A lot of times with the cooking fires, that's why you also, when you cook, you want to keep a pot, a lid handy, right? If you're cooking, keep a lid right here, right? So just in case, the pot goes on fire, you can just easily pick it up and just put the lid on top of it, and that will smother it, right? It will literally smother it, and the fire will go down. So what you did was good. That was a very smart thing to do. That was good.
Sister Mpacho, me also.
pachai
Yo, Sister Jennifer, me wo bad boy baako ne tembia oka ope saa nneɛma no ope sɛ ɔbɛyɛ ɔbɛkɔ fire service. But tembia no me discourage no. Because me hwɛ gya no a see, what really J kɛseɛ no ɛkɔ nya akɔ ngɔfo wankyɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɛno ano no. Nti sɛ I see say you are very bold. No, you are strong. Yeah, to take that, to do this work. I pray say show so. But I know you are very strong. I can see that. Nti ya na wo kasa nyina me hwe osa na me hwe me ba no because every time no kafa say ejano ejano, is it that dangerous or is it that something that to be scared of? Thank you.
Yeah, fire is definitely something to be scared of. It's no joke. Fire, it just does what it wants. It has no mind. It's just going to do what it wants. So you want to. That's what I'm saying. Fire prevention. Even when I go to fires, when I'm at work and there's a fire, I'm always in like, wow. Like if it's a really crazy fire, like I'll get there, I'm like, oh wow, like it's no fire is ever the same for us. It's always different in how the fire may travel and go. So it's something that I pray nobody ever has to experience it, because it's not good.
So the baking soda now say powder. If your mommy,
I think so.
Oh, well.
Off topic. Go on.
about space me akasa.
Pachai.
Pacho nana bi Virginia. Me pacho good say mate but me nye who experience that. Say sebia oh yeah the na seja no agye won nsɛm a wotumi de baking soda powder no egum. Say help.
Baking soda, yeah, it neutralizes it. But that's if it's a small fire. If it's something big, just call 911. Baking soda won't work. But if it's a small fire, like cooking and you
Yeah,
know,
like cooking, yeah.
yeah. If it's a small, then you can baking soda. So that's one of the things that's in that fire extinguisher. That's why they have it's the white pot. It's a powdery substance when you extinguish in the fire extinguisher. It's the powdery substance. It's pretty much baking soda and other active agents. But baking soda, yes, you can use it to neutralize it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Very educated, and then you sing there, pa. Pacho before for BB.
Hello, Mama. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I think some of my first I bear my casa. I buy no more casa. The more can I say that? But me saba se na madam mo.
Pacho, your friend was saying I can say free him.
The probably have make us free. You know, yeah.
Pacho, yo, kosoe.
Madam, master. Minimum the kind say be a waka ho something that I can tell. But yeah, I packing everywhere them. A market to cry. And now we browse so good and be okra ho here. So wa pack every baby crow tia crow nyantia. Saa nneɛma a yɛwɔ wɔ ɛdɛm bebrebe yi na ɛgya ɛhyɛ ɛbɛyɛ dɛ wobɛtua ho fo kakra ɛno yɛ one no deɛ ɛtɔ so mmienu no yɛn nso a ɛwɔ electrical gadgets a yɛyi so ne electrical course a yɛyi so no bi wɔ hɔ a na yɛ faulty bi wɔ hɔ a bebree koraa na yɛde ahyehyɛ ayi mu ɛsɛkye cord no mu ɛno mo nyinaa no ɛntumi mfa gya hyeɛ ma anaa mɛda ase.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the first question.
The first question is I mean, you're too much. Never too much. Where them? Never be especially ma. Remember when you ask what kind of yes to cry? No beer packing them on them too much. You are baby crab it. You're have father. Apart from say, John bit me my gas no. What other crab beer? The own crowd in your home. Yeah, I packing them everywhere. Where them was on. I put over on mind. Me can combustion. Who I saw na me can say. Be on tomorrow. Then the old beer no packing them everywhere all them. Just yeah, bed and say we friend now cry a person as you grow that. Photo ben al my facade no. And I told me no electrical course na the idea use no. Gadgets no. Near 40 na the idea still I use no. Be or one cord extension a cord no. Near packing every room. No photo ben al my facade no.
So when it comes to the packing of the material, a lot of clothing.
You got a lot of stuff in your room.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. You have so many things in your room.
Yeah.
There's no room.
Yeah, when it comes to that, honestly, that's going to be on the person that lives in that place, right? That's going to be your responsibility, or that individual's responsibility to remove it. So it causes hazards for the firefighters, and it causes hazards for you as well, or for that individual. So one, for the firefighter, if we come into a place that and it's just basic common sense, right? If we come into a place, when you come to a fire, there's no light. We can't see. It's pitch black, right? So now we literally crawl on our hands and our knees to search. We look for the fire and we search for victims, right? So we literally crawl on our hands and our knees. We're going along the walls, right? That's our training. We go along the walls and then we inch out, and then we search for people, and we look for the fire. So now if we come in doing that, and then we come across if we come across like clothes and storage and hoarding and stuff like that, it makes our job we still do the job, but it just makes it more difficult, right? Because now we have to climb over this, we have to climb over that, as opposed to like if there was an empty space, it wasn't as. Of course, we know we live in the home, we're gonna have things, right? But we know that when things are too much, when it's just too much, too hoarded, too much, right? It's not good, right? So that impedes on our search, right? That impedes on our rescue, finding somebody quickly, right? The more storage it is, we won't be able to find the person or get to the fire as quickly, right? And also for the individual that's in the fire, that's where if you're that's in the fire, it's going to impede you on exiting, right? So now you have clothes blocking you, clothes, now your door can't fully open because you have clothes in the back of your door, and now the door can't fully open, right? You can't really get out, can't really open the door. Or you have clothes and suitcases packed up to the ceiling next to the window. Now you can't exit and go to your fire escape, right? So on both parts, it's not a good thing. Like I mentioned it earlier that I know we have a lot of things, but you have to take time and either use a storage space and rent a storage space, or just throw it out. Because like if you haven't used it in a long time, 10 years, 15 years, more than likely you're not going to use it. More than likely you won't use it. So it just throw it out. It's safety, right? It's all about, you want to be safe. You want to be safe. We never want to ever experience a fire, but in the case that there is a fire, you have a plan to exit quickly and safely. So whomever you live with, and even if it's yourself, I would say, like, pick a weekend or even a month, like every day. All right, we're going to clear out this area day by day. We're clearing out this area. It doesn't have to be one day, but it can be day by day, so that the area is free and it's for your safety. Just as you will go to the hospital, the doctor, to do checkups on yourself and eat certain things, the same thing with your space and your environment. You want to make sure it's free, just in case of anything. And when it comes to like the plugs and stuff, the sockets, I would say don't overload the sockets. We spoke about, if you have wires, like, sometimes you see the wires, you can, it's frayed, you can see the actual electrical wire in it. You want to throw those wires away. Just get a new one. That can easily be a fire hazard. And you don't want to overload sockets with heavy appliances, right? If you're not using a certain appliance in your house, just take it out the socket. You don't want to overload it. You don't want to overheat those wires, the sockets as well, because that's not good as well. Sometimes when you touch a wire, you'll see that it's hot to the touch, right? You want to just take that out, let it cool down. If you're not using it, just take it out as well. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you so much. The last one is about cell phone. Can it cause any fire? The cell phone, our cell phones, can they cause any fire?
What's that?
I'm talking about the phones that we use.
Oh, the
Can they cause
phone.
any
Oh,
fire?
phones. Yeah,
Yeah.
phones can cause fires because if it overheats, lithium-ion batteries. It's not as common, but it can definitely cause fire. It can definitely cause a fire. But it's not common, but there has been instances that it causes fires.
Thank
So
you.
what they say is, like, if you're charging your phone, don't put on your bed. They'll say charge it on the put on the table, don't put on the bed. Because say if it does catch fire and now it's on your bed and it's on your bed, it's on your sheet, then obviously the sheet's gonna catch fire. You're on the bed, and mattress is highly flammable. So they'll say put it on the table and leave it there. But it's not a common cause, but it has been instances when phones cause fires.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I think, Sister Jennifer, I will let you wrap up.
Afia mpacho edati pese obemu kakra with a question.
Okay.
Pacho kase free Toronto, Canada, edadan. Na pese busa Jennifer question say domestic and as a residential in the event say utikam na usmeli bibitisa in the first place, no advice anything car echo na wati bibia eye powerful say ebia eye smoke and say bibia ebitimi akoso fire no. Me question di kano de tosumi no so woka safe escape plan say wuti fie ana wuti apartment what will be your advice to us as family or children or individuals to say, how do we develop a safe zone place? As I say, a phone contact, and I say a actual place be outside, baby, I would, These are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Okay. So the first one, if you're driving and you start to see smoke coming from your car, and say you don't know much about cars, some people may say will know that, all right, my engine is overheating. But if you smell that it's smoke and you don't know, and you may think it's fire, call 911. All right, that's something that you can definitely call 911 for. I've had many calls where we've gone there. It was from car smoking. We've responded to many calls with car smoking, and we get there. We'll cut off the battery. We'll cut off the battery. Let you know what it is. But we're not mechanics. You know, our main job is fire. So if you know about cars and you pop the hood, but if you pop the hood, you see that it's car is overheating, then then you don't have to call 911. But if you're unsure, all right, it's maybe a female who doesn't know about cars and you're unsure and it's smoking, then you can call 911. Definitely, we've had calls like that as well. And then when it comes to a fire escape plan, and you were saying like a safe place to meet, so I wouldn't be phone contact, because if you're escaping from a fire, you may not grab your phone. So I would say maybe not directly across the street, but maybe across the street. Maybe you can have different places, right? Across the street, down the street. Hey, if there's a fire, this is where we're going to meet, right? Because a lot of times, I said before, a lot of times fires is chaotic. Everybody's out the building. Everybody's like, oh, you see my friend? Where's my daughter? Where's this? Where's that? So you just know that, hey, we're going to meet at this building, 1273. This is the address we're going to meet in front of. So yeah, you could just pick any place that you feel safe. Maybe it's a Dunkin' Donuts down the street or something. Any place that you feel is a safe place that's away from your house.
Thank you so much for that. Third question will be, normally they advise us to say, in the case of fire, our school, and I say our church, don't try to look for maybe other person, escape for your life.
Yeah.
What will be your advice or education on that in case on that setting?
Yeah. So I agree with that. So even when you go on planes, they say the first thing is, right, you want to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you even put it on somebody else. So it's the same thing as that. You want to escape. You want to go out. You want to go out the door quickly, because the quicker you call 911, the quicker the firefighters can come. The quicker they will be able to knock down the fire, and the quicker they will be able to rescue so and so. Right. So now, if you go and try to go and find Sister Mary upstairs, you don't know if the fire is upstairs, and you can't breathe in smoke. If you breathe in smoke, you're going to get smoke inhalation, right? You're not a firefighter. You don't have the equipment, so and it's not even about being selfish, right? It's not being about being selfish. You have to exit as well. I would say exit, but there has been instances people, you know, they're brave. They go and do above and beyond, but that's because they may be in the army or they know certain things. But everyday average person, I would say exit quickly as possible and call 911 right away, so that the professionals can get there and do their job and rescue everybody that they need to rescue.
Thank you.
Hello, madam. Maybe it's the last question. Mame, your family are anyway, make us free New York. Madam, now I can't never be any home so firefighter now who's through. Won't take one chance. Someone won't tell you, I must say, yes, I won't fit in a more than Musa, and I won't tell them. Some won't tell you, yeah, I must say, not the Papa, I must say to me Friday. To which my
Yeah.
will be person senior side money be a hundred.
I don't think he's old anymore. But so yeah, we have fire protective gear. We have fire protective gear. Of course, it's not extremely fireproof, but it'll protect us to go into the fire closer than someone that's not wearing any protective gear, right? So that's how we're able to access into the building and stuff without feeling it. We also wear SCBA, a mask. So that's the mask that we put on our face so that we can breathe and smoke, right? So the bottle that we carry on our back is filled with oxygen. It lasts about 20, it depends on how fast you're breathing, but it'll last about, it's a 45-minute bottle. And that's how we breathe in the smoke. And then we're also protected air. We have our helmets. So honestly, you're protected. Of course, it's still a dangerous job because you just never know. But more than you're protected, and it really just takes bravery. It just takes bravery because it's a different kind of person. While everybody's running from danger, you're running towards danger. Okay, and then also we also before you go, it's not like a regular job. They train you. So I was in the academy for about 18 weeks, right? About 4 months I was in the academy. I learned everything. And then even when I came out the academy, I went to my firehouse and they still was teaching me. I was on probation. They still was teaching me. And I'm still learning now. I'm still learning every day as I go to work. Every day we drill, we go over things because you never know. This is not your ordinary 9 to 5 paperwork. You just never know what situation can happen. So we're always training. And by the grace of God is also by the grace of God that I'm still here, and I always pray when I go to a fire, go to work, because you just never know. So it's still a dangerous thing, but it's good. Not a lot of female. There's not a lot of female firefighters. There's not a lot of black firefighters doing this work.
Amen. Why are they? Answer, Madam, I saw can Oko Ghana. Omo, tank and Omo tank on the back on the soon. Omo Dimika who won't be dropping soon, no, so much is a cohon swabber. Omo Johnny Dano. But I have more, I don't know, shake on a moko, we don't go, so still out Mako.
Well, Ghana, the resources in Ghana, as we know, the resources in Ghana is not like here, and the money, they have other places that they do the money and stuff, but the resources is not the same, unfortunately.
Madam, Sequoia the same crowd when you demand. No crowd, no, so mean, so I got that. I can't some more concern so called talk of mangrove. Na dash, omo drew how would the come the mobile bands, I'm going to draw part of one somewhat your open swabber. Now, Omo more, no more over no more than Dano. Omo may who, and the who be so be a penny for more, yeah, penny for me over 3 years, and penny for in the Casa no, and then collapse. Omo mammy who, ya quite the hard man Yako Gana, over some more most I made more on Babetra, Omo who. That's it.
Okay. Yɛda mo nyinaa ase. Nyame bɛhwɛ yɛ. Nyame hwɛ ɔmo so. Nyame yɛmmɔ mpaeɛ. Ɛma yɛn nyinaa adwene nsakra. Nyame ɛwɔ hɔnom. Jennifer, you did so well. Wayɛ adeɛ paa. Mpaeɛ a yɛbɛbɔ ane sɛ all the time. You said it. Na yɛ me de. Also all the time. Wokɔ a wobɔ mpaeɛ. As adwuma bi a yɛn nyinaa yɛwɔ so a yɛyɛ no. Hazard ɛwɔ ho. Bɔ mo deɛ ne deɛ. You could clearly see say so ebia yɛbɛbɔ mpaeɛ ama wo. Nyame bɛka wo ho. Sɛde wafa nyame na wafa n'adwuma wei sɛ nso bi no. Nkwagye adwuma ne bi. Onyame so ɛma wo brɛ ɛnyɛ kwada. Obɛkɔ so ahyira na ɔma bɔne bi aso ɛnto. Yɛda wase paa sɛ yɛfrɛ wo nya abrɛ. So obɛtumi arape apa ma me anka I will appreciate it.
Okay. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to Elder Dan. Thank you, Mama Judith. Thank you. I just hope everybody I know some people came on late, but some of the takeaways I want everybody to go home with, and to also don't just listen to it, but go home and actually do it, right? Practice it, do it, right? We have to buy a smoke alarm, and a carbon monoxide alarm, right? It's 2-in-1. It's 2-in-1, just one alarm, but it tests for smoke and carbon monoxide, right? So that's number one. Number two, if you have storage, hoarding, a lot of suitcases, clothes, everything is around the house and it's blocking your exits, it's blocking doors, it's blocking your windows, any exits, please clear it out. All right. Like I said, it doesn't have to take you one day. You can do it little by little. Clear it out, clear that space out. The door should be able to fully open. Windows, you should be able to open it and access it, right? Open and access it, right? And then the other thing I would like to say is also teach your kids and your grandkids about everything that you've learned today when it pertaining to fire, right? And also knowing what to do during a fire. Don't panic, stay calm. Don't panic, stay calm, and you want to stay low, right? If there's a fire in your apartment or your house, don't panic, be calm, stay low, leave quickly as possible, and call 911. Okay. Thank you. I had a great time speaking to everyone, and God bless you.
Amen.
Pray, pray, pray anytime. Pray when you're sad. Pray when you're glad. Pray when you're weak. Pray when you're strong. Just pray and pray, 'cause anytime is prayer time. Pray, pray, pray anytime. Pray when you're sad. Pray when you're glad. Pray when you're weak. Pray when you're strong. Just pray and pray, 'cause anytime is prayer time. Ooh. The offices in heaven, they're opened up for you every second.